What's up, cool people? I'm Matt Conroy. Finally doing another game review. It has been a long time since I've done a game review. This time around, I'm going to be playing Tom Clancy's The Division. Now, I will say, I am nowhere near the majority of the way through this, or so it would seem. But what I have played so far has, for the most part, been pretty enjoyable. I'm not always real big into shooter games, but the way this one's laid out, I kind of like it, mostly. Really, the only major issue I have with it is when enemies seem to just kind of surround you for no apparent reason. Like, oh, sure, now that I'm in a fight, they suddenly come out of the woodwork from all sorts of different places. And I don't know. Like, difficulty scaling, I guess, really is the main issue I have with it. But, so, the premise of the game is basically you're in a practically an anarchist New York City kind of thing. Not necessarily actually anarchist, but like a local group has pretty much taken over the whole city, and you're part of a special military group that is trying to take back the city for the common people and not just this particular like gang as it practically is. So in here you've got kind of your primary base of operations. Now there are certain areas in the game that are supposed to be like contaminated in a certain way, which is why you've got this room before getting to the actual bulk of the base. But this is like your primary home base throughout the game. As you've seen, kind of the base restoration stats there, that's something you kind of build up throughout the game. You do certain missions and you get like points or whatever towards upgrading certain wings of the base. And those will in turn give you, as the character, different upgrades and abilities and things like that. So there's that kind of almost RPG build up leveling component to it. And then your character has an individual level on top of that that doesn't really seem to be super directly connected with, like, there isn't really any major stat customization in it. But I think that's not super duper necessary just because of the whole stuff with the base. And I mean, you can customize the different abilities that you have equipped, like these skills here. I guess you get up to 3 of those that you could possibly have equipped at any given moment. I have only unlocked 2 slots so far. And then you've got these talents here that you eventually get multiple slots for, and those will kind of be like passive boosts. As in addition to these perks here, which are like just automatic passives that you get without like no limits. They all just kind of stack up on there. You don't have to like choose certain ones to equip. So there's this stuff that's like almost baseline, improvement of your character throughout the game. And then there's customization stuff with the talents and gameplay customization, in a sense, with the skills that you equip here. But the majority of that you unlock through basically adding different areas to the base. And like each little section kind of has its own hub that, you go to the computer, you look at the stuff, and that's how you decide what upgrades you get. Some of them will give you things like that you can just occasionally check on. I think it's like every hour those will refresh, and they'll give you, you know, stuff where you could craft your own items and weapons, or, you know, it might give you ammo if it's like, I think there's one in the security wing that gives you ammo. It's just different things like that. I have done very little with the crafting station up to this point, but there are like kind of blueprints and whatnot for different weapons and armor equipment things. One thing I like about this game is that you can look at an item, you know, especially some sort of weapon or equipment, and you'll pretty much automatically be able to see like, oh wow, that's got like 3 green arrows. That's a significant improvement over what I currently have. So comparing weapons and equipment is made super simple and easy like that in this game. There might be certain additional talents or perks certain weapons might have for them that make it a little bit tougher to, you know, decide on what's actually the best for you. But for the most part, that's a pretty reliable thing that you can look at and be like, oh hey, this one's better than that. So yeah, I guess I should actually start, you know, getting into more gameplay stuff. There is online matchmaking, and I think it's pretty much just by default cooperative to where you're all working together. I don't know. I can't really... I don't do a whole lot with, you know, online multiplayer stuff for a lot of the games that I play. So I usually just end up going over here to the mission overview, and so you've got your story missions here that are, you know, those are the ones that are going to give you the bulk of the base upgrade points, and they're also going to actually move the story along, I guess, in a sense. While I'm thinking about it, if you see the like reddish area on the map, that's supposed to be like a more highly contaminated zone that I don't think I can go into yet because I need like a certain level filter on my mask or whatever. And that's part of how they'll sort of deter you from going just anywhere right off the bat in this game. Also, certain subsections of the area have generally, you know, certain AI enemy levels and all that. But anyway, yeah, I've completed all of 3 of these supposed story missions beyond like just the introductory thing. I've been focusing way more on these like encounters and events and that kind of stuff because, you know, that's an easy... I mean, first of all, in a game like this, I really want to do like all the things. I want to clear off the map. Also, I usually use the side quests to kind of prepare for the generally more difficult story stuff. Like, that's going to take a long time before I'm able to do that one. Enemy level 27. I'm level 9. So anyway, you could just kind of pick a particular mission,
Agent, there's something back here,
and it'll let you place a waypoint to it. Somebody will give you sort of a little description thing of the situation. 90% of the time it's like, hey, go here, kill some enemies, and then, you know, either like gather stuff or rescue civilians or something. But it's a shooting game. Most of it revolves around just killing people. A lot of the controls are, you know, fairly intuitive, as shooting games go, you know. Oh, there's another little customization thing. You'll get, like, just cosmetic stuff along the way for either helping civilians or just as you find it randomly in different areas. But that's all cosmetic. That doesn't really affect your stats. I don't think there's anything that affects how you look that has any influence on your stats. So that leaves it so people don't, like, get pigeonholed into having a particular look. So, like, there's a radar thing that's supposed to give me an idea of where the enemies are, but it's just like that real kind of thin red outline of the minimap in the top left corner, so it's not the easiest to see. I need to go to the Garment District safe house. Okay. But anyway. Yeah, so that little thing with the minimap can... It's not always the best at letting you know, hey, there are enemies here. Sometimes I'm just walking along like this, and I think I'm perfectly fine, but boom, like these people would be enemies or something. The enemies do, I think, generally look a little bit different than the typical civilians, but not so obviously different all the time that it's, you know, it's still possible to just kind of get smacked in the face with enemies, not even realizing that you were coming toward them. So this is the safe house, I guess, or the entry to the safe house. Okay. I really didn't need to put so many ladders in this one. But I will say that the different safe houses are kind of varied with, you know, their appearance and how you get in and out of them. So I think the safe houses provide some variety in the scenery that you might not otherwise get all the time. Random other player. Am I supposed to be talking to somebody specific? I guess I talked to you. Oh, I guess I had already done that side quest and just needed to turn it in. Okay. Hey, I leveled up. So I guess the next side mission thing is to go find a different safe house, if I saw that right. Oh yeah, so the main thing that your character level affects is basically what kind of weapons and equipment that you can use. Yeah. Go to that safe house. Enemy level 9. Ooh. You know what? There are actually a couple of story missions that are less difficult than that. That one's 0.5 kilometers away. That seems like it's probably going to be the closest one. Well, no, 0.2. But it's also slightly harder. Alright, fine. I'll pick this one.
Agent, we, meaning Dr. Candle, need you to secure the Hudson Rail Yards area. The yards have become a tent city for the destitute and desperate. The people forced out of every place else end up here. What we're looking for is blood samples from those refugees. Clean
I can
ones.
exit this way.
A lot of people try their luck in the dark zone. Not a lot of people come out.
So sometimes even just starting a particular mission seems like it'll unlock other side missions. There was, what did the, oh, discover the dark zone. Oh, that's level 5. You know what? Fine. I'll do that. But let me actually get up out of here first. But yeah, so, as far as controls go, I mean, pretty standard for a shooter. Nothing really stands out about them. You know, left trigger's aim, right trigger's shoot. Although the bumpers are what you use for your skills. I think X is reload in this one. This game does rely pretty heavily on a cover system. So, A is going to be one of your best friends, because that's what has you move into, out of, and between cover. B will let you kind of go up over certain things, or like climb up buildings and whatnot. You know, depending on if you have a ledge you can grab. Your character doesn't go all like Spider-Man in this or anything. Hello. Citizen in need. I give you soda.
Thank you.
You give me something I don't really want. Meh. Oh, hello. That's an enemy over there. Okay. Alrighty. Let's see if I can... Nah, not yet. Hold up. Can I just... Can I, like, back out of that? Nope. Dang it. And yes, I have more guns than just this pistol here. But that's kind of my default, because if you have other guns equipped, it kind of scares away some of the civilians. And then you won't be able to, you know, help them or whatever. So, in case you didn't notice, I sort of threw out a little, like, turret thing there. That was one of the skills that I unlocked. And definitely like. I also currently have as my other skill one that's kind of more based on healing. Another little thing I kind of like about it is, about this game, is that, like, generally, if you have an enemy in your sights and you're gonna hit them with your shot, the reticle lights up red. Whereas if you're probably gonna miss, it'll be white. So, kind of helps give you an idea of whether or not you're actually going to hit the enemy, which is nice. Cover-to-cover movement. If you just hold down A, it'll have you, like, sprint from one cover to the next. Greatly appreciated. I'm going to try and toss out my little turret thing here again. See if it's actually able to do something this time. Yeah, there you go, buddy. Helpful. Alright, I'm gonna try and come around this way, see if I can't be all sneaky and flank. Okay. Enemy is dead? Okay, I guess that takes care of the enemies. I don't think I'm even gonna be able to end up getting to this little side quest thing I'm trying to get to. not if I want to have this video be any kind of reasonable length. But, okay, that gave you a slight sense of the gameplay. You do also have other guns you can equip, generally 2 others. I go, for the most part, I have this one as sort of a mid-range, and of course I've got a shotgun for close range. But you can also sort of customize different loadouts and stuff. I also have one that's a little more like snipey, and you can give your loadouts different names to sort of give you an idea of, you know, what they do and how they operate. So if, you know, if I find taking the normal approach doesn't always work and I want to go a little more tactical and from a longer distance, I might switch to the marksman thing and, you know, try it that way. It also lets you experiment not only with your guns that you have equipped, but even like different armor, I guess you'd call it. So you can kind of experiment a little more with, you know, what stuff you have equipped, how you want to handle certain situations, and as long as everything you have fits in your backpack, then you're good to go. Just
active echo beacon detected.
Active echo beacon detected. Yeah, game's also really good at letting you know when there's stuff nearby that you can like examine or whatever.
I'm sorry, which paper are you from?
I'm from
Sometimes it'll give you little situations like this that you can kind of look at something that happened and analyze it, and
people say it's the blast zone of an experimental bioweapon.
Someone get this guy out of here.
I think some of these it'll even let you like kind of press X to further examine specific things about it. Tarp, Velocity, Michelle Padilla, construction crane. Now sometimes it'll use these to help you with sort of like finding a missing person in a way. But anyway, enter dark zone.
Agent, communicate.
Transmissions jammed. Proximity coverage only. Backup activated. System rebooted. Caution. Entering dark zone.
Yeah. Oh, that's it? What the? Okay. Whatever. Oh. So I guess that's what the purple's all about. There's also like some sort of dark zone level kind of thingamajig. Anyway. The broader point, I think, to all this is that there's quite a bit to do in this game. I'd say if you're into shooting games, especially kind of open world shooting games where there's a lot of stuff to do on the side, then yeah, have at it. I don't know if I'd give it a particular price point where I'd say, you know, don't buy it beyond this. I know this isn't exactly the newest one. I want to say that at least the Division 2 is out already. I don't know if there's any more beyond that at this point. But anyway, yeah. On the whole, I generally enjoy it. Give it somewhere in the upper ratings, you know. I'd almost go with like 8.5 or even 9 out of 10 so far on this. I mean, it's The only other thing I would mention as sort of almost like a kind of bad, but not really that bad aspect of it is that it's so easy to get wrapped up in all the side missions that you lose track of the actual story. But I guess then you might be able to go back through and A, play through it kind of a different way, and then B, focus more on the story and not get sidetracked so much. So, yeah, on the whole, solid game. Don't really know what else to say about it. So yeah, I guess that's gonna do it for now. Lest I make this video really, really long. So, as always, like and share if you enjoyed, subscribe and click the bell to get updates when I post new stuff. Look down in the description for info on other social media pages and how to find and follow and interact and all that good stuff. And of course, leave comments down below with any thoughts on other games you'd like me to play and or review, or any other video ideas you have for me, or whatever. So that's it. I hope you're all doing well. Hopefully I'll see you for the next one. But until then, stay cool, people.